Hello, everyone. This is the It Gets to a Point podcast featuring your girl, Valerie Marie. And this is episode 11, A Girl That Is Going to Be Okay. Now, this particular episode is named A Girl That's Going to Be Okay, is because we have so many people that are looking for jobs, new careers, changes within life. And because I am a female, I stated a girl that's going to be okay. Now, you can reference that to a guy that's going to be okay, or however you want to word it. But for me, I paraphrased it as a girl that's going to be okay because I don't think people realize how vital and important it is to speak life to yourself when you're going through something, when you're going through job changes, if you've been through a divorce, a separation, a friendship breakup, you're grieving in general, and grieving is very layered. Everything is very layered. So I just want people to understand how important it is to know that you're going to be okay. That our thoughts, what we think, can affect how our outcomes can be. Now, I know everyone would say, well, me thinking negatively, how will that impact my road to success? It absolutely will, because here's the thing. Even if something was to happen, most situations that happen, they're either a part of a shared responsibility of your fault, or accountability, or things just happen that's out of our control. Either way that it go, when things go wrong within your life, trying to find new ways to navigate is the only way up. Because for me, right, sitting around, moping around, worrying about what I do not have, versus reading books, journaling, watching podcasts that feed my soul, meaning my mind. Thus, we eat food, we're feeding our body, nutrition. We also need to realize what we watch and what we do is also a part of our feeling structure. So at the end of the day, a girl that's going to be okay is me referencing myself and all the many women around the world that may be going through something, and they just need a little outreach. They just need a little pour in. They just need to know, besides someone other than themselves, that yes, you're not alone and you are going to be okay. And this can be referenced, as I stated, to a male. You can word it how you want to word it. But for me, a girl that's going to be okay, it's just that. We are in 2026. And there's a lot that's been going on. You have tons and thousands and hundreds of people, as a whole, black and brown women of color, and secondly, black men and other races as well. But the highest percentile that is unemployed as of right now is black and brown women. So what we need to understand is that there is a lot of people, hundreds and thousands of people in counting. We just had the Spirit Airlines lay off about 12,000 plus people of all diverse backgrounds and groups with no severance packages or health care. It's a lot going on. Amazon just laid off 30,000. Estimated allegedly, because I didn't follow that particular traction. But I just want everyone to be of good courage. I know that it gets hard. I know that we ask ourselves, when all you're trying to do is provide for your families and do the best that you can with what you have. What I was told from a business mentor, shout out to Kyle, he made it clear that, you can have the best resume, done all of the things. And mind you, he is a business guru that stepped in my life and has been very vital and semi-mentoring me virtually on some things regarding business. And me as a business graduate with a business and administrative diploma, bachelor's of business of science, I really enjoy taking in any type of informative information that someone that is experienced in the field and also certified in the field that can give me advisory that I can always share with my platforms. YouTube is a platform where I do my podcasting, and it also is a way for me to not be vindicated by all of the things that I hear on a daily basis regarding people's lives as well as my own. So this particular platform is about discussing topics, is about think pieces, is about educating each other on what can we do as a collective to have better days. Because if we really want to talk about it, it has been tough for individuals to just get through each and every day, because guess what? I'm a realist, okay? And I don't know if it's the Libra in me. All of us don't have the mindset dependent on our circumstances, our lifestyles, our finances. When you go through a hump in life, a temporary setback or a temporary moment, a lot of people, it is hard to readjust yourself and think positive, because guess what? You have children to think about, you have bills to think about, you have Medicare, medical. So much is going on in the mind of people that are trying to scramble and figure it out when life happens, when your finances have been hit. But I want to tell you, with everything inside of me, don't give up. Giving up is the easiest thing that you can do. That if you have to use your health as a scapegoat, meaning finding new ways to do better with your health. I've lost 8 pounds, feeling good, looking great. I don't care if you need to journal. I don't care if you need to read books. That whatever feeling, there's so much out here. And I'm just not talking AI. AI is an instrument to assist you to get things done a little faster and a little seamless. Never be afraid of technology. As a human race, you control the technology. The technology is not supposed to be controlling you. So I want to put that out there before I forget to say that. However, back to what I was saying, you have to understand that if you made it before, you can make it again, especially if you're a vet in the game, meaning those individuals that's in their 40s like me, 50s, 60s, 30s. If you are over the age of 25 years old, I'm assuming that you have some type of work experience, expertise, entrepreneurship, business, something going on to where you know how it is for something to be let go, or for you have to enforce letting go. Financially, mentally, physically, spiritually. So I want you to understand you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay, because if you made it before, you can make it again. And it's a mindset thing. And I get it. Everybody can talk about, well, oh, it's 2026. It is very difficult. It is this, it is that. Actually, it's not supposed to be that difficult. Regardless of an administration, regardless of politics, regardless of what, it should not be this hard for people that are willingly wanting to work to be able to get work or be able to do things ethically, respectfully, and legally to provide for their families. I find it very disgrading and very incompetent, especially as a U.S. citizen born and raised, that it has been quite difficult. I empathize every single person's choice concerns on the different social media platforms, from LinkedIn to TikTok to IG, and so on and so forth. I know it's hard out here, and every single person is just trying to find a way. And you want to know what? The good guy always finished last, but I want you to understand the good guy is going to finish. Don't mind me in my mason jar, my mason jar cup. I like to drink my water out of here. Excuse me, got a little thirsty. But understand, perfection is not real. Understand that sometimes you may have to start over, and it's not a bad thing, because think about it. If the circumstances and the odds were against you to begin with, If you were absolutely not happy, that career or job was causing you depression, that career or job was making you uncomfortable, the energy was making you uncomfortable, the people were making you uncomfortable all the way up to leadership, the circumstances were slim to none, you were not going to be happy and was going to end up having a mental breakdown anyways. And I'm not saying it to put anything on anybody. It's just to give you light, to understand that sometimes things fall apart so better things can come together. And everything is not a fit, even if you try to make it fit for 2 years, 4 years, 10 years. We as a collective like security, the human race. And once we get attached to that one thing that we're able to do, you know what we do? We do it over and over and over and over and over. And the only way it becomes difficult is if the thing that we're doing is evolving and it becomes frustrating, or the players change and the connection pieces and the individuals that we need support from is not really playing a vital role in assisting us in the areas that we need contribution. Meaning, if you don't have a manager that you can entrust in to have your back, that shows favor to certain demographics of men and women, that picks and chooses how to show up, as I stated before on all my platforms, you can be, and this is because I've worked off and on since 14 years old. Reverse Uno, I am 41. I would never steer anyone wrong. You can be at the water cooler, have all the proximities you want in the world. If you have a team that is not set up for your success and not willing to help you grow and pivot and mentor you to be the best version of yourself in business, it is going to be difficult to thrive in toxic work environments. I've had conversations with every diverse group of a man and a woman and the LGBTQ community, and everyone can totally agree as a collective. You can be in proximities all you want, but if you do not have support, it is going to be hard to level up and to be able to grow with a company when your leadership plays a role of power dynamics in assisting in your growth. It is difficult to grow when you keep getting shut down. It is difficult to grow when people orchestrate confusion and do retaliative things to harm the next person's reputation. But the good thing about this, regardless of if you had to withdraw or they withdrawn you, just know it's not over. As long as you know in your heart what the truth lies and what was the becoming in your personal experience, not your work bestie's experience, not the person that's the teacher's pet experience, what your experience is, how you were treated, how you documented your days, how you reached out to HR. If you done all that you can do, said all that you can say, and gave more than you were compensated to get, then you, my friend, your time was up and it just was not a fit. Because why would God or the universe want you to continue to be somewhere and you have done all that you could in your power and people do not want to see your talents? You would suffer and shrink to the point to where you will feel like you mean nothing to the world. And every single person, regardless of negatives or positives that they play in orchestrating confusion in people's lives, you have to understand everyone has a goal. Whether their goal is negative or their goal is positive, there is a such thing as karma. I just had to be a living testimony to a fella. And I had to let him know. He stated to me, well, I really don't know when karma is coming for those that harmed me. And it seems like, it takes so long. And I had to tell him, it's not your responsibility to care when someone else will receive karma for hurting you. Because you know what? I guarantee whatever they did to you, if they haven't done it before, they'll do it again. So that is a contract between them, their God, their mindset, and what they put out in the world and the algorithm of life. We have to understand no matter how people hurt you, and this is me doing the work and detoxing my mindset to be able to pour into people to understand the mind plays a heavy vessel in your thinking and your becoming. You have to understand that it's no one's responsibility on how you choose to think. And it's no one's responsibility on how you choose to react to circumstances and situations. And a lot of the times when you are working with the wrong company and you're with the wrong partner and you're with the wrong people within your life, if they are a trigger, they don't necessarily or may be intended to just be a lesson. But it's not for you to take it personal when it doesn't work out, because taking it personal is just too easy. And with the rate of life, the level of food and resources and how things are cheaply made, we really don't have the bandwidth to overly saturate ourselves with things that are done. We just have to figure out how to navigate to heal our nervous system. So when you work on healing your nervous system is a process of eliminating all the junk food out of your brain, meaning all the negative things people told you, all the negative things you told yourself, all the negative things that you have experienced that has caused you to feel unnecessary pain in your body. So healing your nervous system is journaling. Healing your nervous system is reading. Healing your nervous system is writing. Healing your nervous system is finding a healthy way to work out. Take baby steps to do it. I know that all of us have different health issues or possibly certain circumstances that may limit some of us, some don't. But you have to find your joy in getting out of that negative space and pivoting to the next level. And in order to do that, overthinking and overanalyzing, because we've been so spoiled and coddled off of technology, it has caused, I feel, brain rot. And when I say brain rot, it's we forgot to do the things that we used to do when we were younger, right? That brought us joy, that kept us alive. That as a child, we rode bikes. As a child, we went to the park. As a child, we found healthy, free ways to clear our system and to reroute, to not overly concern ourselves. That I do feel that the thing work-life balance, it is not about perfection. It is about doing, and it's about finding a way to navigate. For me, there is no perfect way of work-life balance, because you can set your scheduling and say you're going to do all these different things. But because this world and the people in the world is very unpredictable, it is no guarantees that this day and the plans that were made are going to make it, because there's always something. But what we have to realize is that we have to stop being so hard up on perfection. Because honestly and truly, there's not a perfect person in this world. Everyone is guilty of doing something to hurt someone, more or less or more. Everyone is imperfect beings. But we have to accept the fact that we are not perfect beings. And when we accept that, you don't have to be in a rat race to compete where you never compare. There are many people that dress up on the outside, surface levelly, look like they have it all put together. But inside of them, they're going through some type of health burden. But you wouldn't know that because you're looking on the outer layer. And you also wouldn't know that unless they are attentive to having a private conversation and you getting to know them. Getting to know someone is not just working with them, okay? Getting to know someone is just not through virtual experiences, especially if they're not doing or saying anything that is a service to humanity, okay? And what I realized out of all the jobs that I have worked, let's go down my family tree of jobs. I've worked in banking. I'm going backwards. I've worked in medical. I've worked in mental health. I've worked in sales and marketing. I've worked in retail, many different forms. I've worked a lot. I've worked in collections and call centering. I've done a lot. And by all means, as I have navigated and pivoted up and down, I realized that there is no manual to this thing called work-life balance or having the best career in the world. It is what you make of it. And then some jobs just was not a fit. They were never intended to be a part of my pivoting of a grand career. No matter if I gave this job 6 years, this job 5, this job 4, this job 2. It was a part of my plan, but it was not a part of my prophecy. Okay? It was not a part of my prophecy. So at the end of the day, we need to understand that sometimes jobs are there to help be a lesson to you, so that when you go on to the next career, you know what to look for, you know what you can do, and that job as well or career will be a way of teaching you things. The cans and the cannots, the who's and the haves, all of the things. But it is up to you as we resonate with 222 on the clock right now. Nothing is perfect. Not a manager, not a store, not a building. That when things happen that affects your financial security or affect your finances in general, I just want to say to every single person that is worried about something, you will be okay. You are a girl that is going to be okay, because guess what? You made it through the storm before. You'll make it again. Life has a lot of ups and downs, and 2026 by far, I'm going to just say for me, the last 4 years has been quite extreme. It has had its bumps in the road. It has had its ups and downs. But you know what? Because I have total faith in my being and my becoming and my pivoting, that regardless of any circumstance, situation, no matter who come or go, and I speak this to myself every day. Okay. Every day. And I know if it's working for me, it can somehow be a blessing for someone else. That I am going to continue to be the love that I desire. I'm going to continue to show gratitude, because guess what? It could be worse. I have a roof over my head. I have clothes on my back. I have glasses to help me see, to speak to you all as my core audience. And I'm not going to complain. Things are going to happen. And most of the time, we all have intuition. We know that that particular place wasn't making us feel too good, or that relationship should have been done. We all know that that friend did something to make us feel away, and we should have exited the friendship. But you know what we do? Because as a human race, we want to keep giving chances and passes to organizations, businesses, individuals, because we really want to see it work. Even though we know it might have a good percentage, depending on what you feel in your groin, that it probably won't. It's a way to go about things. Communication is key. But because there is a flaw in us, not in the technology that's made, because it's a choice that we consumed ourselves with technology. We forgot to communicate. We stopped having family dinners traditionally on Sunday. Everybody's working 2 to 3 jobs. Everyone's exhausted. No one really wants to go anywhere but rest at home, because we're so tired, because we have to get right back up and do it again. That the world is collapsing, because the mindset of the tradition, the communication, the collaboration, everything intended to help the human race pivot, we have gotten so spoiled, as I stated, and coddled on technology, that we forgot to be human. We forgot to call and check up on our spouses. We forgot to send the roses. If you are a gentleman, or maybe you're a woman, you want to do it. We forgot to do the things to put a smile on each other's face. We forgot to live in love. You want to know what we got caught up in? We got caught up in numbers. We got caught up in money. And we got caught up in time. And really and truly, these things were given to us to assist us to help evolve. But somehow, somewhere within the glitch and the portals of life, there has been some powers that be that is a part of orchestrating, depleting, and dismantling, and making the human race that has a soul feel that we are a burden to a society that collectively was given to us. The lands, the bodies of waters, everything to assist us in our health, in our wealth, in our becoming. But because we have so much technology, so many things are subtracting from us, we don't even do basic math problems on paper. I'm from a generation, we did math on paper. I still do math on paper because guess what? I want to be able to keep my mind going. There is a balance to where I get it. Technology has to evolve. Life has to evolve. But mankind, does mankind make the equipment? We are not evolving as fast as the equipment that we are creating. And that is the problem. We are the mecca. We are the highest elite of the races of the mammals. And we got the birds. We got the lions, tigers, and bears looking at us like we crazy. Because they don't have to have clothes on. They don't even speak. They use their other senses to communicate. And yet we are the elite, able to put on clothes, come and go as we want to, eat whatever we want to. They have to hunt for their food. We take life for granted. We don't realize how much we lost love within ourselves because we got so caught up in working, so caught up in selling, so caught up in technology, so caught up in parenting, so caught up in career mode, so caught up in working several jobs to make ends meet. We lost touch of ourselves. And when you lose touch of yourself, you lose your heart. So this is why a lot of people don't get it, because they're on a type of time that is low vibrational, because they haven't took a moment to breathe fresh air. And when I say breathe fresh air, thus we breathe fresh air every day. I'm saying metaphorically, go outside with no schedule. Take some time without thinking about a schedule and just literally sit with yourself and pan your thoughts out without distraction, without someone needing you, without a schedule, without an email, without a call, that we forgot to give what life give us. And that is give life back into yourself. If it is on the weekend and you are off, those emails are going to be there Monday morning. Relax your nervous system. Let the anxiety go. Cut you some music on, some jazz, something soft and nice and light, whatever your favorite playlist is, but relax. You're off the clock. We don't have boundaries. We need boundaries. It is not your responsibility to have boundaries with your staff as a person of leadership. It is your job to create a healthy work environment and milieu, but it is not your responsibility to be a people pleaser and to choose sides when you are trying to manage multiple personalities. There is no right or wrong question to when you are dealing with conflict and people. The issue is when managers create boundaries and have favorites and admit to having favorites and continue to do so. That is poor management. No one in and on your team should be silenced or felt left out because you want to have boundaries. Leverage is a real thing, and that same person that you favor will probably be the same one to get you terminated as a manager, because if you're going to have those type of boundaries, you need to have healthy boundaries, because we know it's positives and negatives into everything. Make sure you're showing up for your team as a collective. If you're going to have meetings, make sure you're just not sitting in the office with the same repetitive staff, and start checking in on your team and asking everyone how they feel. How was their day? or do it as a group, as a collective. People forgot to do the things that keep teams thriving. All teams are doing is complaining, whether they complain to you or not, because most of the times, most teams are not going to complain to their boss or their manager, because most teams really fear leadership when they're not supposed to. And that's another thing that's an issue. You should not be placing fear into your representatives, your consumers, your customers, or your staff. Your staff should be able to have conversations with you without feeling it's going to be retaliative. The issue is the power struggles within leadership and the boundaries and the creating of toxic environments and acting delusional. A toxic environment is a leader that refuses to hold other people accountable and always just targeting that one staff. A toxic work environment is a leader that refuses to be team, that is a selfish leader. Only think about their time. Only think about what they want to do. That's selfish. I don't care if, ands, or but. If you're leaving 2 hours early every single day and you're putting your responsibilities on the next assistant and the assistant is putting it on this one, it is depleting and it is causing stress to individuals that's intended to be your stress, but because you want to go to date night or you have something more important than doing your job, somehow, some way, because you're in good with your manager, it is all a collect of madness, and managers have lost their way to be ethical. That what I need every single company to do is to throw away your HR handbooks if you're going to pick and choose how to utilize them. Because what I have noticed as a collective, speaking with different diverse groups of people and diverse businesses and industries, the way they described the HR handbook, when you're told, quote unquote, see something, say something, it becomes retaliative. And you ended up being a target after just trying to set the tone and create a more safe, non-toxic work environment, not just for you, but for everybody. That people are using HR handbooks as if they are Bibles, and they weaponize people with these HR handbooks on their time when they feel like targeting a particular staff. And that is not what an HR handbook is supposed to be about, or a mission statement. That handbook is supposed to be for everyone. That means that you can't pick and choose who you want to hold accountable and who you don't want to hold accountable, because guess what? You may have won the race on the business standpoint, but you also have a family. You also have friends. And the things that you do, if you continue to make a pattern of showing different faces and being unethical and picking and choosing how you want to show up for company policies, whether you're in a small business or a big business, there is a such thing as karma. And you do unto those that do unto you. And to expect for people to respect you when you want to place fear into your employees, knowing how vital it is, knowing everyone, regardless of color, creed, disability, or gender, is dealing with a lot right now. To add unnecessary pressure, to act as if you are a god or above the program. It does not matter your title or entitlement or privilege. I say to you, nobody is above the program. Trouble doesn't last always. And when you do things to people that you know is not right, you have to live with that on your conscience. You have to live with the fact that you could have addressed concerns a little faster. You could have been one of the ones that actually was ethical, but because you want to join a bigot boy cub of confusion, or create more toxicity and resilence individuals, because guess what? They feel they are in flight or fight mode, and they're going to do what they feel in their mind is the best thing to do to protect their paycheck. Because guess what? They don't want you targeting them as well. So at the end of the day, if this is how businesses, no matter what type of business it is, organization, institution, for profit or nonprofit is running, then this is not good. This is not good. And there has to be a safe space, and there has to be ethical leaders that really want to stop the stigma of toxic leadership that people in corporate need to understand. If there's constantly something happening on a job or at a particular place, that is a red flag. You need to come up out the offices and stop waiting for things to happen and get to HR. That means that people need to, as a collective, come down and start visiting these places of business. I'm not saying micromanage the business, but if the business is the money and the people is the money, you got to make sure you're protecting the money. You got to make sure everybody is doing their job, because 9 times out of 10, if you're not interviewing the regular employees, but you're only putting faith and confidence into the managers, in today's time in 2026, honey, I've heard it a million times, including myself, they will lie to you with a straight face. I have seen people lie to HR. I've seen people lie to their own management. People will do whatever they got to do and put on a smiling face and lie through their teeth. And you will, and because they have a certain degree or they have a certain level of responsibility or leadership, they will get away with lying. And I'm trying to understand where's the discernment here? Where is this discernment to know that there is a issue? And in order to resolve this issue, we stopped going in depth and asking questions. We got lazy as a collective. And I'm not just talking business. I'm saying in general, if you know you need to discipline your child, it is a way to go about it to where it's not cruel punishment. It is a way to investigate the situation without angering yourself with aggressive approaches or feeling like, what can I do next? Now, I know things happen in life. Temperatures rise, and we as a collective, including myself, do not always get things right. But when you have individuals personally or professionally in your life and you cannot entrust in them to do right by you, that is dangerous for your soul. Because these people will take the simplest of a conversation, something innocent, and make it heavy, because their intentions are not good for you. And in 2026, a girl that is going to be okay is that woman, is that individual, as I stated. You can word it how you want to word it, to know that regardless of any circumstance, you can make it if you believe that you can. You can make it if you do not give up. Giving up is too easy. As we look down in history and we see how things have pivoted, how things have changed, how history is repeating itself, and also things are evolving at the same time, that finding a safe, sacred space, whatever that may be, finding your joy and releasing all of that no longer serves you. That means if that job did not work out, that relationship did not work out, there is a way to go about it, to decompress, debrief, and get your life together. And the way to go about it, some few tips that I did was journaling, writing, reading, singing, dancing. Because me being a creative at heart, born given talent as a poet that converts music into songwriting, I use it as my scapegoat. I enjoy writing because that's just what I do. I have a degree professionally, but I have multi things that I have done, and I'm a multi-skilled set individual. So that is why on most of my social medias is going to end quote multi-hyphenate creative, because if I just go down the list of everything Valerie Marita did, we'll be talking all day. So to sum it all up in one big batch, and I also used AI to assist me with organizing all the many things that I have, to compress it all in one resume, multi-hyphenate creative. So I'm not limited to just one thing. I'm not limited to just one skill set or just one organization or business. That I enjoy thriving, because guess what? I'm a teacher and I'm a student. And I'm also a real life parent. And pivoting is understanding that regardless of what's going on, you're going to be okay. Because if you made it before, think about the student that you were when you were going to school at your university, or you choose the path to work. You still made it, and you made way less dollars than you're making it now. It has to be a level of mindset. But I feel like because our nerves, and we've gotten so overly stimulated, and we've been so spoiled on technology, we get so antsy when things don't work out for us. Because we forgot to be human. We forgot to get in touch with our feelings, that it's okay not to be okay, babe. And that's just coming from my mental health experience, because I've worked in that field as well. I told you I do a lot. Know that the best thing that you can do is believe in yourself. No matter who come or go, no matter who don't understand you. We are all different. We all come from different backgrounds. We all see life very different. That it is not your responsibility to beg anyone to accept you. It is your responsibility to know that you are somebody in this world, and you are a unique being. That if we was to take away the color, if we was to take away the thoughts, we would be left with a soul. And we need to understand the impact that we have when we speak negative, the impact we have when we speak positive. For every 6 person that is positive in your life, you become the 7th. For every 6 negative person that comes in your life, you will make a habit to be negative. So it is about changing the way that you think, re-infrastructuring your nervous system, and understand there's absolutely no one that has all the answers. I don't care if they portray to be a perfectionist, which that word needs to be gone, because being perfect, nobody, absolutely not. Nobody has the perfect weight. Nobody has the perfect looks. I don't care how beautiful they are, how they paint their face, how they look, and that's me included. We all have issues. It does not matter how much bank money is in your bank account. It does not matter how many cars you have, what you drive. We all have something that we need to work on. And that is why I say we lost sight of touch of being human, because we deal with such a materialistic world with materialistic people that is so surface level, watching the next man's or woman's plate or money or transactions and experiences, that everybody forgot to know how to genuinely be a friend without, quote unquote, just wanting to be my friend because of my aesthetics, or just wanting to be with me because of my looks, or just wanting to be in my proximities because I have something that you as an opportunist need or want. We forgot to genuinely be ethical, and that is the issue, because everybody's always on go, always got something to do. It's so bad in this world. I tell you, no lie, in real time, I went to the DMV to get some things sorted. The woman worked the DMV from 8 to 5. A couple hours later, I happened to want to stroll into Walmart. That same woman was at Walmart. I say, am I really seeing this? And she was like, yes, this is me. Mind you, I only went home to rest for about 2 hours, got myself, tidied up, and went back out. This woman worked from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., splitting her shift at the DMV to turn around and go work at Walmart as tech support. I was like, this can't be. This cannot be the life. That there are people really working hard to provide for their families. And there are people that have lost their job in way. And the biggest, most greatest recipe that any individual can do is to not continue to cosplay and bootleg a life of happiness, because the way that you treat people shows that you're not happy. There is a lot of people that dress like they're happy, walk like they're happy, talk with authority, and quite miserable because they have zero peace at home, or they've pissed their spouse off so bad to where they want nothing to do with them. But because it's much more cheaper to keep him or her, you're just going to deal with it. And the issue is there is a lot of people coping with life and using their job as a weapon, using their home as a weapon, using their children as a weapon, that nobody really sits down to figure out what can I do to be a better human, because we're constantly blaming this one, that one, and we've yet to take accountability. That the minute that you tell an adult to be accountable, is almost like everybody's running around like ants, like that word is delusional. The issue is adults are not accountable. We have been incompetent with ensuring follow-ups, communication, the structure. We all play a vital role in killing humanity, killing life, killing energy, killing self, because we forgot to be human. We got so caught up in technology and using technology and idolizing money and idolizing things that we forgot that if we did not have all of these things, right? If we did not have the status that we have, if we did not have the positions that we have, would we still be treated with the same love? Because a lot of times when you have status and when you have money, you're automatically treated better. Absolutely, 1,000%. But what if you did not? How do you think people in this world today, they would treat you just like they treat the everyday person? So I need people to understand and to understand life gets easy when you realize that it's going to be times when it gets difficult. It's going to be challenges. It's going to be some things that you just don't even know what the hell's going on. And that's okay. The best thing that you can do is keep going, brush your shoulders off, and continue to walk. The walk is a metaphor to growth. That means that even if you don't know how you're going to make it, even if you don't understand how you will, just know that you will. Because if you pivoted before in a past life, in a different year and time, you can do it again, but it's a mindset thing. I get we are all applying for jobs. We are all feeling life's uncertainties. And even those that are still working are getting mentally abused right now. So as we speak, are overly consumed with work because no one is really carrying their weight and always putting the responsibility of something that is too difficult for them. They put it on the next man or woman, which makes their workload more heavier and your workload gets lighter and lighter because we use people that actually have structure and we burn them out. Or we find ways to get the voice out that is actually telling leadership there is issues here, but because we're used and we made it acceptable for toxic work environments and leadership to continue to poison companies will end up losing and having to sell themselves to private equity because they have irresponsible leadership that will continue to do the same thing until conversations and accountability is had. There is no way you're not doing anything about if one person has constantly been ringing a bell. If there is a person that has been constantly crying for help, but instead of ensuring guidance and doing your job, because it's a chain of command in most industries and corporations, you want to end up somehow being retaliative and blaming the person that was trying to get a cry of help to find a way to escape the bullying on the job or the toxicity. You never let go of the toxic high performers. And in this world today, companies have lost credibility because they would rather keep toxic performers. That means toxic performers. What is the definition of that, Valerie? That is someone that is a high performer that is toxic. And because they are a great performer and they do great numbers, but their people skills are shit, you will continue to beat a dead horse and keep those particular individuals on because they run the numbers up. But what's going to happen when something goes awfully wrong and you are all in a lawsuit? No longer, no, now you got to deal with the toxic performer. It's terminated, so they can't perform for you no more. You have to deal with letting different levels of your management go after interviewing everyone and finding out truths. It gets highly messy because everyone's not going to take the abuse, whether they exit themselves or not. Everyone's not going to be okay with turmoil. And some people will take you to court about it because why is it okay? Because someone is performing, but they have a terrible attitude towards life. They're very negative, they're draining, and they get over. And they continue to display themselves to be opportunists. And because they are a top performer, in quote, but they're highly toxic, in quote, you will continue to deal with it because they make your numbers look good. There is no way I'm going to want to feel that this is what humanity is selling for. Because you can actually, as a manager, right? And this is what I learned in business school. There's no way you're that lazy, right? Which you are, to want to keep someone that is uncontrollable, that's going to end up going against you. Because like I say, I never see it fail. The ones that you favor in your personal life or your professional life, they be the ones to do the most hurtful stuff to you. So never get too comfortable. If you think they won't, they will. If you think she won't, she will. If you think he won't, he will. It does not matter if it's a husband, a wife, a kid, a cat, a dog, yourself. Everyone is capable of doing hurtful things. And some things you cannot come back from. So at the end of the day, the toxic performers need to be evaluated. Companies should not be comfortable with just having buckets of money just for lawsuits. There has to be conversations because there is nothing cute about a toxic performer that lacks personality, that is just there to do work. They don't want to be bothered with people. They say out their own mouth they don't like people. But the ones that could have been a blessing to the company, but because they wanted to speak up on certain things that was unethical, you target the one that wants to fix the problem in a professional manner, and you allow the resalicing and the confusion because this top performer that is toxic, because it's helping your numbers, you're going to keep them employed. And it's going to cost you in the long run, because we all have to go old and gray one day. And we have to look back on life and think about all the things we've done to anyone that has crossed our path in life. And you have to realize whatever you put out in this world, you will get it back. How you treat people, how you conduct yourself, that a lie do not care who tell it. This is why, as individuals, you have to understand a girl that's going to be okay. The titling is a metaphor, not necessarily stating you are a girl if you're listening, that you can switch the word. But for me, being a woman, I am a girl that's going to be okay because I believe in me. That regardless of any circumstances or situations that came to my front door, I have always found a way to pour back into myself. I have always found a way to give myself the love that I desire, that regardless of any friendships, regardless of any relationships, regardless of business or personal, I'm going to be okay because I believe in me. That even if I felt uncertainties, I'm going to try to find a unique way creatively to take my mind off of the madness. Because guess what? You allow those things to grow when you continue to fester on them. You allow yourself to get too close to comfort, to think people are that safe. People are quite dangerous, and that has been proven records globally. And what we need to understand and understand that it is up to you to protect your own energy. It is up for you to be a guiding light for yourself by far. Because guess what? If you're not loving you, it's going to be difficult to love anybody else. And it doesn't matter the years of work, the years of how long you've been with someone or have not been with someone, until humans learn how to be human again and learn how to stop caring so much about numbers and stop caring so much about wanting to be consumed, that it is going to be difficult for someone whose mental health is declining to produce the numbers that you want them to produce on account of pressure from stakeholders and people up the chain and up the ladder of business management. We have a issue here. And because you see one monkey do something doesn't mean you have to do it. No. We need real ethical leaders that actually see something in their staff and want to be mentors. Not just look like you're a mentor, not just walk like you're a mentor, but genuinely care collectively, respectfully about every single person on your team. It makes zero sense to me that a manager would ever say out their own mouth they dislike one of their staff or they can't stand one of their staff. That is very hateful, and it shows your true character. So we need to find new ways as we evolve in this life with everyone dealing with something, no matter what it is, business or personal, to spread joy. The level of anger and confusion is at an all-time high. But just because it's at an all-time high does not mean you have to be that way. There is so many people selling dreams to find ways to get rich fast. But when you're doing something in a field of work, regardless of the certification, the degrees, or whatever you have going on to back you, if in your heart is rotten and God knows how you're going about it is really not genuine, it won't work. There's too many greedy people looking for greedy ways to get a quick come up. There's too many people that don't know how to be a real friend without envying you, without talking about you, or not really showing up. Okay, the consistency is down. This life as a whole has grown very incompetent. And until there is some re-infrastructuring and some better communication, it is going to be hard for people to navigate when everyone doubt themselves and they're going to project and deflect their doubt on you. You got to know how to read the room and check the temperature and know when to move. That if this person you're on the phone with all the time is negative, I'm going to need you to learn how to hang up the phone, hon. If this job is not serving your beliefs, or it has grown to change its structure and it does not resonate with you, it may be time to look other. And everything that is a temporary starting point or stopping point, it is not a forever thing. That your mindset is what you view of it. And being on LinkedIn and seeing people like really venting professionally and saying how uncomfortable job searching has made them, how they have felt like these are not real individuals and things are getting shut down, or we forgot to be human because we've codepended on technology to do the work for us, because nobody wants to work but everybody wants a salary or hourly pay. That I do understand the reason, and there's nothing you can do about technology evolving. You either make it work for you or it's going to enforce. And what we have is people not being educated on how to properly use these instruments and these tools. And instead of it working for us and the companies, it is working against us. And companies, it is shown in statistics, is losing credibility that they used to have on account of the codependency of individuals that have cosplayed and created toxic work environments and continuing to keep toxic performers. Great performers with numbers, but they have a piss poor attitude. They're very nasty. They're very disrespectful, and they are the problem. But nobody wants to say anything to them. You want to know why? Because they have the managers in their back pocket. Because again, they are a toxic performer. We have to understand the distance and the difference, that it be a reason when someone up and leave an organization and we just can't understand why. Eventually you will start seeing exactly the same issues that they see, because it doesn't stop. People do not change their ways. They will always be who they are, and it is up to you to figure out who is the has, the who's, and what is your tribe. That as an individual, I am so blessed that my grandparents, who was my village, that had to assist my sick mother, which if you see my grand scheme of things live on TikTok and you watch the It Gets to a Point podcast, which we're on here now, which this is episode 11, A Girl That's Going to Be Okay. I have too many platforms saying the same thing and doing things to really expand life on a level to bring back a level of positivity, accountability, and humanity. That there is no way we should be in this position of reckoning. There is no way that people are so drained. There is no way that the trust is so broken. We are so broken, and we are the highest elite race of beings, and yet we feel enslaved by work, enslaved by marriages, enslaved by relationships, enslaved by our children, enslaved by ourselves, by golly, enslaved by business. That finding your joy is understand you as a collective will be okay, because out of everything that you've made it through, you're still here. So you serve a vital role in being a better version of yourself, that even if you can't feel it, force yourself to feel good. Even if you don't feel good, claim that headache to get up out your system. That if you focus on something long enough, whether it be positive or negative, it's going to come into fruition. So we need to start speaking life into ourselves, and we need to start taking accountability that yes, sometimes we may have been difficult, but who has not been difficult? Sometimes it's going to rain, but does it always rain? That it is up to us to stop looking for other individuals in surface level things and material things to be our gods, and find who we are in us, out of us, and find our joy. And know that we are going to be okay. That regardless of the circumstances, if you haven't picked up a book in years, blow the dust off of it and read. It's that simple. And the more you create a healthy habit of doing healthy things to penetrate your brain, to assist your heart, it becomes a pattern. So everything negative you had going on, you're undoing it because you're healing your nervous system. You can do this working or not, because guess what? The day has to end somehow, some way. And if it's not, that's a problem. You should not be working for a company that wants to work you to death. You're human. You deserve rest. You need it to function properly. So when we stop using and tooling human beings as robotical experiences, then we can start seeing the individual and what they are really good at, and hold them accountable without them thinking they're privileged to be above the program. Because what we have is a bunch of spoiled brat individuals that think they're above the program.